Walter Krops had never liked cemeteries. Even in daylight, the stillness clung to him like a damp coat. He was there for his uncle's burial under a pale midday sun, the kind of light that washed everything in quiet resignation. The rows of marble headstones stretched into the distance, their shadows too sharp for comfort. As the last prayer ended, Walter's eyes drifted toward the far edge of the graveyard, where iron fencing divided the polished grounds from a barren patch of dry, forgotten earth. Something flickered there, movement, like a figure ducking behind a cracked angel statue. When he looked again, it was gone. That night, exhaustion pressed down on him. He collapsed into bed, the image of the graves lingering behind his eyelids. He dreamed of soil shifting, of names whispered in the wind. But when he opened his eyes again, the world was not his bedroom. He was standing once more in Everest Cemetery. Only now, it was night. The sky hung low and colorless. The air was cold enough to burn his lungs. The gates behind him were chained shut. And every gravestone, every angel, every cross was turned toward him, as if watching. Walter called out, his voice small in the endless dark. No echo came back. He reached for his phone, but there was no signal. He began walking toward the gate, the crunch of gravel beneath his shoes sounding too loud, too alive. The latch was frozen in rust, the iron biting into his hands. When he pulled, it refused to move. Then came the sound. Gravel shifting, a whisper carried on still air. "Walter?" He froze. It was a familiar voice, his uncle's. He turned toward the rows of graves and saw a figure standing near a headstone, its outline trembling in the dim moonlight. "Uncle Ray?" he called. The figure tilted its head. Its posture matched his uncle's exactly. The same crooked stance, the same heavy suit. But when Walter stepped closer, the figure's face lifted into view, and the mouth opened wider than it should have. The sound that poured out wasn't a scream, but a deep hiss, like soil being shoveled. The ground trembled. Walter stumbled backward, heart hammering, and ran between the rows of graves. He didn't look back. The whisper followed him through the dark. Ahead, on the hill, stood the old mausoleum, sealed decades ago, its stone walls cracked and mossy. Its door now hung slightly open, a faint light pulsing from within. He hesitated, then stepped inside. The air was thick with wax and decay. Candles lined the coffins, casting long, shivering shadows across the carved walls. Each stone slab bore names he didn't recognize, except one. There, on a newly carved plaque, was his own, Walter Krops, 1991 to 2025. He felt the blood drain from his face. No. From beneath the floor came a low scratching, followed by whispers rising like breath. "You came back? Just like we did." Cracks split across the tiles. Gray, withered hands burst through, reaching for his legs. He kicked free and stumbled backward, colliding with the coffin bearing his name. Its lid swung open. Inside lay his own body, pale, still, eyes closed. He froze, breath shallow, watching as the corpse's eyes fluttered open. It smiled faintly, as if recognizing him, then mouthed words he couldn't hear. All the candles went out at once. The door slammed shut. Darkness swallowed him whole. Walter awoke with a scream, bolting upright in bed. Morning sunlight spilled across his sheets. His apartment, familiar and safe, glowed in the calm of day. His chest heaved. It had been a dream. Just a dream. He stumbled to the bathroom and splashed cold water on his face. His reflection looked shaken but alive. He laughed nervously. "Jesus, Walter, get a grip." The world outside was bright, ordinary. Birds sang. A car passed on the street. He exhaled in relief. Then he saw it. A small brass tag lying on his nightstand. He picked it up, turning it over in the light. Everest Cemetery, Plot 49. His stomach dropped. That was his uncle's plot. He turned toward the window. The sunlight flickered, dimming for half a heartbeat before returning. The walls around him began to ripple, bending like reflections on water. "No," he whispered. The air thickened. The smell of flowers and earth filled the room. When he blinked, the light was gone. The sky was black again. He was standing in the cemetery. Moonlight glinted off the chained gate behind him. The graves were silent, waiting. He ran for the gate, clawing at the chains until his hands bled. No use. From the hill, a faint shape appeared. A man in a dark suit, his features just visible in the silver light. It was himself. The other Walter watched him for a moment, then turned and walked back toward the mausoleum, disappearing into shadow. Walter's screams echoed across the cemetery until dawn, when the sun rose over Everest's gates, and silence reclaimed the dead once more. Thanks for watching. Is there anything you'd like to see in a short horror story? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe.